Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. The video today is on a Vauxhall Corsa 2008. I'm sure it's 2008 or 2009 with the 1.4 petrol engine. This car was dropped here about 2 hours ago as an on-runner, came on a recovery truck, and I was working on that 3008, but I finished for today, waiting for parts now. If you follow my channel, you most likely seen that video already. Anyway, so they dropped me the car here, and I just went to get my recently acquired setup, or the setup I put together for the MDI, and I just thought, you know what, it's the first Vauxhall, I thought I'm going to try that. Now, once I got here, and I just put the case here, I saw this. Okay, and straight away I start not like this. And I saw this. So, obviously someone has been here already. And I want to show you how the car came to me. And this is how I got the car. The battery is completely flat. That was not even, it was just like that. I got it like this. ECU is just hanging at the back. Yes, they have been, as you can see, taping wires. Look at that crap in there. I bear with you, I'm gonna find pierced wires everywhere. Most likely, don't know yet, but not very good. Not very good. So, right. So this is how I got the car. So, what I'm gonna do, guys, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to possibly put this ECU back in place, because this unit needs to be grounded, is grounded at the body. So we're gonna ground the ECU and just make sure everything there is still connected, and we're gonna scan the car and go from there. Really put the battery on charge, because there is no battery at all, and see what we got there. But if I would have seen under the hood before, I don't know if I would take this job, but too late now. Now the challenge, let's gonna go. Okay, and the battery is now on charge. The ground is back on ECU, and they completely ripped the threads on the bolt, not on the bolt, on actual ECU, where the bolt for the ground goes. So that's completely cross-threaded. The bolt doesn't really hold that well now, so we're gonna have probably to rethread that and put a slightly bigger bolt. Everything is, guys, if you're gonna work on a car and you can't fix it, at least try not to damage. Try to leave as you found it for the next person, because now okay, moaning is not going to resolve. So while the battery charges a little bit, the battery is completely dead. While the battery charges a little bit, we're gonna start the MDI and go from there, really. Okay, so the MDI is not plugged in yet because something was really weird. So I put the battery on charge. The battery's been on charge for, I don't know, now for a good 10-15 minutes. I know it's not a lot, but still every time I would turn the ignition on, everything would start to go like sort of flickering, and I had the charger on the slow charging setting, and I thought still 15 minutes already, it should obviously behave slightly different. So I've disconnected the battery, measured the battery, and the battery was giving me 4.5 volts. So to start with, the battery is gone, and low voltage is one of, well, high voltage as well, but low voltage can absolutely damage all the electronics, all the ECUs. Guys, you should never try to, if you notice that you have a low battery, please get it charged, or just replace it. Don't attempt to crank and to ignition ons, because low batteries can damage a lot of stuff. Anyway, that done. So I'm now using a spare battery, my spare battery. So I put a battery in there. Still, I put it on charge just to maintain the voltage. But it looks much better now. So first thing found, battery is done. Needs a new one. So now let's gonna plug the MDI and go from there. Okay, guys, and the plan to use the MDI is out of the window for now, because for some reason under GDS2 this car is too early, so it doesn't appear on a list. And Tech to Win, for some reason, every time I try to get data from the car, Tech to Win just shuts down and is not communicating with the car, or I don't know. So if you guys know how to resolve it, please let me know. If I don't have it resolved by the time this video is up, so I don't have a clue what is wrong with it. So we're gonna have to go back to our Maxi-Sys. So on the Maxi-Sys, one strange thing, well, not strange, is that it doesn't detect the VIN. So Maxi-Sys takes the VIN from the engine ECU, and obviously is not retrieving the VIN, and which means to me we have this problem. Look, is a 1.4. It does that. No communications. I'm sure is 1.4, but we'll do that. I think it even says 1.4. There we go. So it doesn't find the engine. When I tell him is a Z14, he just fails communicating. Okay, so we have no communications in there. And if I go to transmission control module, this is automatic. If I go there, as you can see, there's going to be no codes. Then when I go back and I go to my ABS and ESP, I get that. So look at the top, invalid data from ECM. It's not invalid, it's because there is no data at all. I think it's the only module that says there's no data, there's no communications with the. So this one, ABS, tells me vehicle speed sensor malfunction. That's fine, and it says no engine RPM signal, obviously because the ECU is offline. Next, what else we have here? Body control module. We have all the codes are not present, but nothing really important for the time being. Central door lock, forget about that. Instruments. In here I have invalid data from the body control module. So why we have invalid data from the control module? What the hell have they been doing on this car? Immobilizer. All the faults, well, is the same as the body, so nothing there. SDM, airbags. We have system voltage too low. We knew that anyway. Trailer module, wipers, doesn't really matter. We can go to the radio display. How we have in there? Invalid signal from BCM, which is not present. Blah 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 blah. We see, okay, so all the codes are not present. So I think what I'm going to do now is, to be quick, we're going to do a full scan. Done something wrong here already, because he asked me. Oh, come on. Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna go auto scan. He asked me which gearbox we have. We have that, and now he's gonna try to scan. He's gonna fail. He's not gonna find it, so we're gonna do that. He's gonna fail to scan the engine. Now he's gonna go through every single other ECU. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow it to finish, and then we're gonna clear all the codes. Okay, the scan is finished. There is a few faults on every other module. It's going to do a quick erase, and then we're going to see what exactly comes back. Okay, and the scan is just finished, and we're left with a fault under our instrument cluster, which is going to be that one, and we're left with the electronic power steering, which it does have these codes, obviously. So everything else is kind of gone. I haven't cycled the ignition yet, but most likely my ABS will come later on with so engine off, ignition off, ignition on. If I go to my ABS and ESP, I think was that the one that was reporting no communications with the engine module. There we go. So we have that back. I think we could do a quick scan again, but there is really no point. Now on my cluster, I have an F in there. I never had one of these, but I've heard all sorts of things about that F in there. This being an automatic. It's not the Easytronic though. It's a normal ATF or AF. So everything seems to be working kind of okay. Okay. But obviously we have that F. But until I get communications with my engine module, I'm not too worried about. So first thing we're going to do is try to figure out why we have no communications, and for that I'm going to probably try to check, well, I'm going to start with the basics, to be honest. Check fuses, check powers and grounds, and from there, providing everything is there at the engine ECU, we're going to move on to the CAN lines and so forth. So that I'll try to take you through. You know what, guys, I think I'm going to send this car back because whoever's been working here was an absolutely idiot, to say the least. I'm so frustrated. The plug, this one down here that doesn't come up, does have this sliding tab that you pull to obviously unplug the ECU. They broke this on the other side, so basically when you pull it, the other tab on this side, the other thing that is supposed to slide the two sides together, stayed inside. They snapped there's a thing here, a piece of guidance here that is missing. The ECU has been already opened by who knows. Okay. As I said earlier, they completely broken the thread in there for the ground. I don't think I want to touch this because it's absolutely stupid, man. I don't know what the hell they did. Also, I just found a little bit more info. The guys that have been working here, they were absolutely idiots because the car apparently was having a slightly misfire, and the guy took it, I don't know where, to get repaired and or to get a service done, and to see if they could resolve that misfiring. And apparently the car never started after that. So I don't know if I want to touch this because I don't know where to start. I really don't know where to start. It's idiots, man. Absolutely idiots. Absolutely idiots. Okay, right now I have ignition on and I got hold of diagrams, and according to my diagrams, let me put the phone, here's a mouse so you guys can see, like that, okay, like that. Okay, so according to my diagrams. This first plug here, which is XC2, which is the plug that goes right here. I should have voltage. I should have ignition voltage and battery voltage in 2 pins here. So one pin is going to be this third pin here. From the top, obviously, is 1, 2, 3. This purple and blue pin, which is my pin 51. Okay, and I should have, that's ignition voltage, and battery voltage should be on my pin 18, which is going to be right here at the back. It's going to be my pin 18, red and yellow. Okay, so let's gonna put the multimeter here somewhere where you guys can see the screen. So let's gonna just test that. Oh, come on, let's gonna test. Seriously, I'm tired of this car already, and I have not even bloody started. Okay, so let me put that probe in there on the positive side. So I have 13 volts. The 13 volts is because of the battery maintainer. So let's gonna go to my pin and I do have 13.01 volts, and that is my battery voltage. Okay, is my pin 18. Now on my pin 51 I should have ignition, so ignition is on anyway. So on the other one is that one there. I'm gonna do from the top this time, and I have 1, 2, and I have 12.92 volts. Okay, so which is good. So there, so 12.92 volts or 96. So we have voltage in there as well. Then the only other place where we should have voltage is on the same plug. Yeah, same plug, but this is only with my ECU connected. It's red and blue, which is going to be probably these 2 pins here. Let me have a look. So it's going to be, let me see if it's pin 49. Yeah, 49 and 49, and this should be 33. Yeah, 33. So it's these 2 here, these 2 here, these 2 red and blue ones, but I'm pretty sure this is voltage with the main power relay, so I have no power at the moment in there. So unless I plug this in, and that is providing my ECU is actually good. It's not that one, it's that one in there. Bloody hell. They broke everything in this module, guys. Bloody hell. Let me cycle the ignition. Okay, and with the ECU plugged in on those 2 wires, I have 9 volts and a half. I should have 12 volts, I guess. I'm not sure which one is the main relay for this. Let's see. And that also comes from fuse 20. Which one is fuse 20? Start fuse in there, number 10. 10 amps in there. Hold on a second. And let's gonna see what happens when I pull that fuse. If my voltage drops. No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it's now fuse 20. Definitely it's fuse 20. Fuse 20, that's it. Fuse 20 should feed those two. Should feed those two wires. Look at my voltage. See that? Let me figure out where those wires are going. Okay, so indeed it comes to this fuse here, number 10. Okay, and this is powered by this relay. Okay, so I've lifted the relay to expose the blades at the back, and with my test lamp, if I do this, okay, hold on, because the alligator just came off. Okay, so if I do this, I can activate my relay. Don't know if you can hear it. And when I activate the relay, look at my voltage. 12 volts. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Actually, I'm gonna do something different. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna jump this. Okay. So we jump there, and let's gonna see if we can communicate with the engine ECU now. I believe the CAN lines are on this side anyway. Let me check on the diagrams. And yes, they are on the same plug, exactly on the same plug. Let me turn ignition off, ignition on. Let's see if I now have communications with my engine ECU. Okay, so control unit and control module 14. Okay, still no comms. Okay, why is that now? Let me double check everything. And that's weird now. We may have a completely bad ECU. Okay. Okay, so everything is connected. I still have no communications with my ECU. I'm now scoping the CAN lines, and as you can see, we have a quite good signal there. Okay, it's a little bit low because each square is 2 volts, and I don't even reach 2 volts, but I get the same. So let me do something here. I'm gonna unplug this, and you're going to see that I still have the same sort of wave in there, the same information. And as you can see, disconnected, still have the same thing. I can still obviously communicate with my other modules. That's more than obvious, but obviously I believe now at this point that my ECU is actually faulted, so something must have happened with this ECU. And I'm going to open this ECU to see what work has been done inside of it, because I don't know who opened it. I don't have a clue. Let's go and open this ECU and see how it looks inside. Okay, so just open the ECU. The start was really poorly sealed, really poorly. There is indeed marks that under the microscope, everything looks okay. I'm not gonna lie. Under the microscope, every single one of these, they call frog wires or whatever they call them, every single one looks okay. Some of them are under this silicone that has been already marked with fingers and stuff, and I can't really see through properly even under the microscope. In there looks like it's a burn sort of, but actually it's not. It's just a little bit of dirt. So I mean, visually I would say it's good, but obviously it's not, because we can't communicate with this module. So I have a feeling that something went maybe with the battery, with the low battery, something like that, and has damaged the ECU. So I think we're gonna need another ECU. These ones, if it was one of these wires that was burned, I might could try something, but it's not. They look all good, so there's not much more I can do really, to be honest with you. And boom, boom, boom. There we go. Right. A few days later, I got another ECU. And I was looking, so I bought this from eBay. I was not even really looking for the same part number, guys. I was just looking for reset ECU. So I didn't have to go through the reset procedure. But luckily enough, I found the exact same ECU. It's even for an automatic, which is brilliant. So same engine code. Obviously the old VIN number doesn't really matter. So is for 2 years earlier or a year earlier, but doesn't really matter. And as you can see in there, immobilizer code cleared, so it's been reset already, which is brilliant. The ECU looks really good, so nothing to say about it. And the first thing we're going to do, which I haven't done yet, but we're going to have to do, so this ECU, guys, is, forget about it, is I don't even want to waste my time. I paid 60 quid for this module, 60 pounds, so you can't really complain about it. So the first thing we're going to do, as we have seen earlier, and I took through the videos, we're just going to plug the ECU, the plug that contains powers, grounds. Well, grounds is on the body, but that contains, there is some grounds on that plug anyway. But we're just going to connect the plug that contains obviously powers and all that stuff, and that contain current communications. And we're going to try to communicate with the ECU just like that. If it does work, then obviously we know that's our culprit. But I'm 99.9% sure that this is going to be my issue, or that was my issue, and that this is going to sort my problem. So let's going to do it, and then I'll take you from there on to the reprogramming the ECU and all that good stuff. Okay, and as I've said, we plugged this plug that contains can high, can low, and all the powers. We grounded the ECU, and now we're going to see what happens. I have my tools here already. By the way, for you guys that might gonna not wait for the end of the video to start to give me suggestions about the MDI, I just want to let you know that has been sorted. That problem has been sorted. So I have the Tech2Win working absolutely fine now, which I'll show you probably later. But for now, all we're going to do is turn ignition on. Now, if we have communications with this ECU, the first thing we should see, guys, is the spanner light blinking. The reason why it was not blinking before was because it was not communicating with the ECU. So the immobilizer, which is part of the control body, the body control module, wouldn't know if the ECU in there was programmed. If it was not, just it knew nothing because it couldn't talk to it. So the spanner light was just constantly illuminated. Now this ECU has been reset, so I've been told. So we should have an immobilizer light flashing, or the spanner light, due to the fact that the immobilizer is going to see that the ECM is not programmed. Also, my F, if you remember, was an F coming up in there above the mileage. That should go away. That should not come up. So let's gonna turn the ignition on. and see exactly what happens. There we go. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That means I'm communicating with my engine control module. That means the immobilizer is seeing the ECU. As you can see, let's kind of wait a few more seconds, but as you can see, we have 0.0. The F is not coming up so far. Okay, in the meantime, we are going to connect the maxi sys, and the reason why I'm going to connect the maxi sys is because I need to retrieve the pin code of this car. So there we go. The F is not coming up. You should be there by now. So that means my F is sorted. It was just the fact that you couldn't see the ECU, and that was why the F was coming up. So so the next step is program the ECU. So the ECU in there now is reset. So it doesn't have a pin code to it, and we need to put a pin code to it. Now the pin code is gonna have to be the pin from the car. Now, because I can't extract the pin from the ECU itself or from the old ECU because we have no communications, I'm gonna have to take that pin from elsewhere. Now, maxi sys can retrieve that pin from the cluster. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna retrieve the pin from, just hold a second. We're gonna retrieve the pin from my cluster. So let me see. There it is. That was the car. So let's gonna log in. So let's gonna go to programming, get security code. There it is. So I'm going to take a picture of this. Hold on. Okay, picture taken. So this is my pin code from this car, and that is the pin code we're going to have to use to program that ECU. But guys, before we go that far, so let's press OK. I already took a picture of this, so I don't need this anymore. Actually, I might use the maxi sys to program the ECU. I might use the Tech 2 to try the Tech 2. Don't know yet. Exit. No, let's gonna stay there. Yeah, let's gonna stay there for now. So, but before we go any further, guys, I want to sort that mess on that loom. So the first thing I'm going to do is obviously check every wire, repair that. There is a ground that goes into the body, the head of the engine on the side that I've showed you. That's a really bad job in there. So what I wanted, as you've seen, there is bits of plastic missing. Look, they are there on the floor. There's caps from the plugs missing. So so what I'm going to do is sort that mess and put the ECU where it should go. So put the ECU, which it bolts into the admission manifold on the side. So basically, I'm going to put everything the way it should. We now know we are halfway through fixing our problem. Once I have everything in place, then we can try to see if the car starts, if there is a misfire. As the guy said, that was the initial problem with the car. Then we'll go from there. But before, let's gonna sort that mess, and then we'll come back to it. Okay guys, and everything is back in place. It looks like there is a there is a bracket missing that should be here somewhere to hold this sort of thing in here, and to hold perhaps this, and this one, but there's nothing here, so I'm not really sure where things should go. So I've done it like this as best as I could. I moved the earth from down there to there, both of them. Okay, so the ECU earth and the other one. I moved this to here, cable tied here. Everything is quite secure, so nothing is gonna shake or anything like that. The ECU is back in place, everything is in place. Battery is connected and charging, just to keep the voltage while we do the programming, which the programming is actually the next thing we're gonna do. Okay, let's gonna turn the ignition on, see if we have the same reaction as we had earlier, which we do have. Oops, there we go. So spanner light flashing, no wave coming up, everything looks good. So let's get ready to program this ECU then. Okay, and I think I'm gonna use the Maxi Sys for this, for the simple fact that I haven't tested Tech to Win that far yet to 100% be confident that's going to do the job properly and is not going to fail. It should do the job. After everything, I will show you in the end the MDI working, but you know, programming and stuff, I'm not 100% sure. You know, I think it's a little bit of getting confident working with that tool. I barely tried the tool on a car, so I've just, after the fix, I just came here, scanned a couple modules and scanned okay. So, but I think we're going to use the Maxi Sys for this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go, so this is the main menu, so we're going on to programming. Let me turn this light off, and from here we already have our security code, which I wrote it down there. So we will be going on to program Immobilize a function. So turn ignition on and stop engine. We already did that. The engine doesn't start. Now here you have three options. Obviously it's quite easy to know which one we should select. We should select engine module installed. My pin code 2737. We're gonna go there. 2737. Press enter. We press OK. Security code entered successfully. OK. It's programming active. Turn ignition off. As you can see, my light already stopped blinking. Turn ignition off. And we'll be pressing OK. Turn ignition on. So my immobilizer light is not flashing anymore. Should press OK. Programming successfully. It's gonna press OK again. Let's go back. Let's go to my right. Let's go to my. There's one thing more we need to do. Let's get to diagnosis. Auto scan, enter control module, and we should have communications now. There we go. Now we go to special functions, and I want to program immobilizer. Sorry, VIN number. So let me check if this is the right VIN number, because I don't think it is. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is obviously the VIN number from the car where the ECU came from. So we'll be changing that now. Okay, there is the new VIN entered. And we'll press enter, OK. Programming successfully. Press OK. And now, as you can see, I still have no VIN number because I've never scanned the ECU. I never scanned the car through the VIN number in the ECU, because obviously it would give me the wrong VIN number. But now, if I go back, let's just quick read the codes. It might be that we need to do some, no we don't. So this is good. So this car does have air conditioning. So it looks like the car is already programmed for air conditioning, which is very good. So these codes are not present. So we will clear these codes before we leave the ECU. Let's go again in there, quick. No faults. Let's go back, 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 and back. And now, if I come all the way out of here, and I ignore these now, because I was never managed to scan the car using the VIN number, and I come here and I'll do, let me just do one thing, ignition off. Let's wait a couple seconds. I haven't cranked the engine yet, as you have noticed. Ignition on. Let's auto detect, and it should detect my, there we go, bingo. So now we read the VIN number from the ECU. There is. Okay, I do apologize, I got interrupted, but as you can see now, he detected my VIN number, which is going to tell me which car it is, hopefully. No, the coding failed. It happens quite a lot on these ones, but anyway, if we go, now we have my VIN number. So if I now go to 2008 Corsa D, we come to that menu where we were before. So what I'm going to do now, guys, very quick, we are going to do an auto scan, clear any codes, see what was wrong with that code for the wrong environment or something like that from the control body. So we're going to look at that before I try to crank the engine. But as you can see, my spanner light is off, everything is off, so we should be ready to start the car. But so my is the AF, I think. So letter to finished, clear everything, and then we'll go from there. It is now erasing all the codes, all the faults. We found quite a few, as you can see. and is now erasing the last two modules. And the last one. And it's finished and is looking really promising. So look at that, no other faults detected. So what we're gonna do next is the moment of the truth. Ignition off. Gonna try to start the engine. And look at that. Oops. Let's try again. Okay, let's see if he holds idling. It's running a little bit lumpy at the moment. But he's running. That's what I was asked to look at. He's running. It's running a little bit lumpy at the moment. But he's running. So I'm going to show you, it really looks like he's misfiring. Let me show you that. So it really looks like it is misfire, most likely. Let's just plug in the MDI so I can show you the MDI working and see if there is any codes or any live data that will kind of point us in the right direction. But this video is not going to be for that. The only thing I'm going to do is show you the MDI working. If the guy wants me to have a look at the misfiring, that will be a separate video. Okay, so let's kind of plug this in and I will show you this working. Okay, MDI is connected. Well, it's wireless, but the laptop is running, so I'm just going to quick show you that everything is working. So Opel, yes. So it's going to 2008 Corsa D. Let's do the engine. There is. Confirm. Turbo codes. Oh, there is a few codes here, look at that. P0016, crankshaft, camshaft correlation, and is a present TTC. Next, absolute manifold pressure, which is a present TTC, P0068. Next, misfire detected at low level, that doesn't really matter. Cylinder 4, cylinder 1, multiple, and that's the last one. So look at this, that is cylinder 1 and cylinder 4. Which are they going to be my two cylinders that are going to run at the same time? Well, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, this was just to show you that the Tech 2 is working. Let's do some, for example, let's do some data display, for example. There is. So look at my RPMs up and down all the time. It's just to show you it's working. It's nothing to do with we're going to fix it here. If we fix it, it's going to be on a different video. Everything working fine. Let's do, for example, transmission. Transmission, confirm. Trouble codes. No trouble codes, as we know. Let's see, for example, data or live data. So some live data here. And that's it, just to show you it is working. So, and I think this is gonna be it for this video. Car is running poorly, but it's running. So everybody, hope there's some information on this video that you guys are gonna find it useful. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put them below. And like always, thank you so much for watching.